is Whatcha Figure. Welcome back to the channel. I am Country Boy, and we are taking a look at the game of Jaws. Ba-dum. You know the song. Classic. This is a 50-year-old movie. Believe that. It is a 50-year-old movie. Jaws, 50th anniversary. It says right there. You know it. 1975. How has it been that long? This is a movie that has stood the test of time. Steven Spielberg, awesome director. Probably my favorite director of all time. Just really nailed it with this one. It was the first blockbuster of its time, and people were scared to go into the ocean. I think people are still scared to go into the ocean because of this movie. You know, there aren't nearly as many shark attacks as people think every year, but they see this movie, they go, maybe I don't want to test that theory. I still want to go to the deep end sometime of the pool. That's scary as heck. But this is a movie that you love, your mom loves, your mom's mom loves, and you know what? I think your kids are gonna love as well too. I know mine do. And you know what? My kids, they play a little bit of this game as well too, and they had a blast with it as well too. So, without further ado, let's get to looking at this big old packaging. And so while we're looking at the packaging, you can see at the very front, it is the classic poster from Jaws. And it says, The Game of Jaws, 50th anniversary. That's awesome. I'm really excited that this is 50 years in the making, and it looks like a really cool recreation of the Bruce, the shark himself, from what I've seen anyways. There you can see an image of the actual shark toy that you get from NECA, ages 14 and up at the bottom there. And then if you go to this side right there, it's like a hand-drawn image of the poster. On the top here it says, It's you against the great white shark. One wrong move and the jaws go snap. So ages 14 up, NECA, 2 to 4 players. So you can play this with some friends, you know, not just yourself. And then on the back here, you get a nice big image of the actual shark himself and all the things that he comes with. Really cool. I love the look of this thing. It's like some classic looking packaging as well too. It's not just your standard NECA packaging. This looks like they went back in time to how things would have been packaged back in the 1970s. And then on this side, again, with the same image as the other side. And then if we go to the top, you can see The Game of Jaws. NECA again. And then if you go to the bottom, you'll see all the people responsible for this action figure and for this game, I guess I should say. But there's nothing left to do but to get into the packaging. Here is Bruce himself out of the packaging, and he is a big, hefty boy. He definitely has a lot going on. He's a really big dude. He's probably what, like 14 inches, if I had to guess, something like that. He's definitely bigger than a foot. And there's only one little thing that you had to do to put him together was his 2 fins on the side. You had to slot those in, and then he was fully built. Like, everything else is one big piece, except these fins on the side, they slot in. They don't move at all, they're not articulated, but we'll get to looking at him in just a second. We'll look at some of his accessories first. All the things that you kind of put in his mouth right there. So let's take a look at those first. Starting with the accessories, we'll take a look at the gaffy hook, or the fish hook. This is the tool that you're going to use for playing the game, so you can actually pull things out of his mouth. It's got nice, good, sharp hooks that you can easily just grab the things and pull them out. Hopefully, if you're not too, shaky to get your hand near him and then make his jaws snap shut. But yeah, it looks like a nice big fishing hook is what this reminiscent of. And then you know sharks eat everything, so you gotta have a tire in there somewhere. So here's a nice standard tire. Basically, it looks like more like a dummy tire or a donut like you would have if you needed to change your tire. It's not the biggest, thickest tire. It's a nice thin one, almost like a wheelbarrow tire, but it's something that a shark would definitely eat. And you got this glove right here. It's a yellow glove. It definitely looks like a good old glove. Not a lot of bite marks in there. It's nice and clean. You can wear that thing any day. And then to go with your glove, we got ourselves a worker boot. Looks like it might have some steel toe in there, so you could easily take this one to work, just clean it off a little bit, take the shark gum out of there, go ahead and put that on. It looks like a good looking boot. All the accessories that this came with have a good level of detail, and I really love that NECA did that. They didn't just like phone it in and it's just like one blank color. They did a bunch of like extra paintwork on there, gave it like a dark wash and stuff to make it look just that much more real. And then you got yourself a walkie-talkie. If you need to talk to somebody else's boat, you go ahead, you get your walkie-talkie, you go, hey guys, I'm coming in, I'm 8995 or whatever your location is out in the ocean, so that you don't get attacked by Bruce. And because you got a shark with a full mouthful of stuff, you gotta have yourself a license plate. Classic. That's what you think of when you think of what could be in a shark's belly. I think the license plate is like one of the first things that comes to my mind. Maybe it's just because it's from Jaws. Maybe it's because they're notorious for eating license plates. I don't know why. This one has 007 or 007 981 72 Louisiana 7273 Louisiana. Is that the actual license plate that was in the movie? Maybe when they're opening up the belly of the shark that wasn't Bruce. I'm curious if this is what it was. I gotta do some research, and I'll show maybe an image if I can find it here, if this is the one or not. Maybe this is a different reference to something else. I would like to know that. And then when you're hunting for sharks at nighttime, you gotta have some light. So here's a lantern. It'd be cool if it lit up, but that'd be a lot more unnecessary details and work to do. You don't need to make this light up, but it is a lantern, and it looks like a lantern does. One thing to defend yourself with against the shark, obviously you got to have a gun, right? Here's a revolver right there. That's something that you would definitely want to have on you, on your person. Now we got some fish bones, so it's a nice flat looking fish. Got a big eye hole so you can stick this piece of string in there so you can hook it nice and easy. And it looks like a nice fish, almost like a fossilized fish or something. And there isn't just fish bones in here, we also got human remains as well. So here is a skull. Maybe this is the skull of the chick from the beginning of the movie that was skinny dipping. This could be her remains inside of the belly of the shark. Ooh, nasty. Got a hole in the head, got a hole in the back of the head as well too. So just for easier hooking for using your gaffy stick for when you gotta fish it out of his belly. And anchor's away. We got ourselves an anchor as well too. Got some rust to it. It's an older anchor, as you can tell. Classic look for an anchor. You know, Popeye would have this tattooed on his arm, it looks like, and it definitely looks really well done. Got some darks, you got some rusty color, and yeah, that's gonna be nice to have inside his belly. And if you're gonna take down Bruce, well then you gotta have this big canister of air. This is an aerosol can, or a CO2 can, if you will. This is what you're gonna want to put in his mouth. You're gonna want to take your rifle and pah, ba-boom, there he goes. Bruce is down, at least until Jaws 2. But was that a different shark in Jaws 2? I was never quite clear. I gotta remember. I gotta rewatch those movies. But at least for the first movie, this is how they destroyed Bruce. Spoiler alert, 50 years ago. And then, like the guys in the Orca do, they gotta have a couple of drinks, you know, singing shanties and all that stuff. So we got ourselves a nice big jug of who knows what's in here. It's got a cork on top, which does not come off, but it's a green jug. It looks like something that you might make at home, some sort of home brew alcohol. And I'm curious what they think they would have put in here. Sort of moonshine? Burns good. And then if you're looking for pirate ships, well, I got yourself a part of a pirate ship right here. We got a nice big ship wheel. It's made of wood. I mean, this isn't really made of wood, but it looks like it's made of wood. It's got the browns and the dark wash as well too. A good level of detail. I like the way that this thing looks, and I could totally see a shark having this in its belly. And then here we have some more human remains. So this would be an arm, and it looks good. It's white with a little bit of a wash to it as well too, to make it kind of like dirty and grimy so that you can know it was inside of a shark's belly. And some poor person was taking pictures of sharks and must have lost their camera. Maybe the person's okay, but their camera unfortunately did not make it. So here we go. We have a camera that fell into the shark's belly, and it looks like a camera does. And last but not least, we have ourselves a 5-pack. It's a 5-pack of beer because the 5th beer must have been drank already. And you got the ring on there. You can't take it apart. It doesn't come apart. Like, I was wondering if maybe it was kind of like my dinosaurs figure that came with an actual 6-pack that you could actually take off of the rings. That was actually really cool with my my Earl Sinclair dinosaur pack. This does not come apart, and I understand why they would do that, because if it came apart inside the shark's mouth when you're playing the game, how do you fish out all those individual cans? That's just not going to be easy to do. But it looks cool. It's got a cool level of detail. I'm not sure what beer brand that is. Nergonaset? I'm not too sure. But you know what? They look intact, so you know what? Just toss those back into a cooler, put some ice in there, have yourself a nice frosty cold one. But hey, if you're liking this episode so far, and I sure hope you are, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like, hit that subscribe, hit that little bell on the side as well too. Leave some comments down below. I am CountryBoy_9, also known as CountryBoyNiner, like right here on YouTube. But I'm also on a bunch of different places. You can find me on Letterboxd. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitch. You can find me on Instagram. Find me all over the place. I'm on TikTok as well too. I do some videos every once in a while. Check those out. But I'm also on a couple of different channels, like one with my friends called Wasted Opinions. We have a blast. We talk video games, movies, TV shows, comic books, food. You know what? If you've thought about it, we've probably done an episode of it. But I'm also on a channel with my friend Lewis Lightning called Mallard Matinee, where we talk a whole bunch of different stuff about movies. It's strictly movies. We review movies that are brand new, movies that are old, movies we have seen, movies we haven't seen. We have a blast doing that as well too, so check us out right there. But without further ado, let's get back to Jaws. And if you were wondering, the game does come with instructions on how to play it. It's basically, if you play Crocodile Dentist, where you gotta pull the teeth out of the crocodile's mouth before it snaps. Well, it's the same kind of idea, except it doesn't like randomly shut its mouth anytime like that. It's basically sensitive to pressure on its tongue. So it's you take turns pulling things out of the shark's mouth, and whoever it snaps on, you lose. First one to pull all the stuff out of the mouth, they're the winner. And here we have fish are friends, not food. I always think of Bruce from Finding Nemo for some reason, the big shark, and because his name's Bruce, this guy's name is Bruce. That's what I always think of for some reason. I guess it's not a coincidence because they named Bruce from Finding Nemo after Bruce from Jaws. That's neither here nor there. Anyways, this guy, he looks like this shark. Like, he looks just real enough to be a real shark and just fake enough to be the shark from the movie, if you know what I'm talking about. Like the jowls that he has on the side right here, that's not a thing that actual sharks really have. It's because they need to have a mechanism inside the mouth to make it move up and down inside the movie. So they gave that in this NECA one as well too, which I love that they did that. It doesn't look just like a plain great white shark. It looks like Bruce from Jaws. Like, even like the way that the teeth are stationed inside of his mouth looks just like he did in the movie. It looks fantastic. The big old gills on the side, everything, it looks like Bruce from Jaws. I love the way that this guy looks. He's got a lot going for him. I mean, it's very limited to what he can do. He can't really move much. He has no articulation in the tail or the fins or anything like that. Like, even the ones that you slotted on, they don't move. They're stationary where they are. But he definitely is what I want out of a big Bruce shark. You know, I kind of wish I had the Quint and the Hooper from Jaws as well too that NECA made. But I don't want to get them because they don't have a Brody, and you can't get a Brody because nobody's making Brody, because they're not legally allowed to make a Brody because the family won't allow his likeness to be made, I guess, outside of the US, and NECA has their stuff made in China, I guess, primarily. Anyways, we're looking at Bruce, and this guy does not disappoint. I like the little details, like the curve of the tail, the curve of the fin at the back here. And you know, something I never noticed in sharks is this right here, this little bit of fin on the backs here. I never really noticed that. That's something that I never would have thought of until I opened up the shark. I'm like, what are those? That's a thing sharks have, apparently. Never noticed. But I like you look inside, even of the mouth there, you can like see like the tongue, you can see like the striations and like the lines and stuff that are inside of his mouth. But just right inside the mouth, the teeth, the tongue, the lip. Oh, he bit my finger! Ah! But you know what? It's actually it's a softer kind of plastic, the teeth, so they don't really hurt when you clamp down on your finger like that. It doesn't hurt that much. But as you see, it is kind of sensitive, so when you touch the tongue, push down on it, it does close. But this guy definitely looks like Bruce from the movie. He's got the blacked out eyes. He is scary looking. I could see this in 1975 coming out of the water, and then, you know, the classic quote,
"You're gonna need a bigger boat."
And so if we want to do a little size comparison, you can see how big Bruce is right here compared to the Phantom of the Opera, also made by NECA. So in scale, it's pretty close. I think that the shark maybe would be a little bit bigger in comparison to a human in the movie. But you know what? Then he'd be way too big for anybody's shelf, probably. I'll see if I can even get this guy in his mouth. You know what? You can get a guy comfortably in his mouth like that. There you go. There's your Quint scene right there. It looks decent. I mean, yeah, I think he would be slightly bigger. Maybe like another 2 inches added or something like that, and maybe just a little bit wider. But it definitely does do a good job of fitting what Jaws should look like from the movie. And hey, that is gonna do it for this episode of Jaws the game. I had a lot of fun playing with this with my kids and just having them on my shelf and just thinking of opportunities I could do. Maybe I will have to get myself a Quint and a Hooper, and who knows, maybe somewhere down the line they might get a chance to make a Brody. Who knows? If that happens, then at least I'll have the whole crew, and it'll be so awesome to have those guys together. But that is it. I am calling it. I am Country Boy, and I put the sass in Sarsaparilla. But as always, be sure to let me know what you figure. So is Jaws technically a Universal Monsters movie? So would I put Bruce with my Universal Monsters, like my Frankenstein and my Dracula and all those guys? Or is he its own thing? Does he go somewhere else? Well, if you want to see other things like my Universal Monsters, go ahead and check out my channel. I have a whole bunch of those videos for you. Go ahead and check them out. But if you want to see something else that isn't Universal Monsters related, check that out. I have a whole bunch of other stuff as well for you. You just never know what might tickle your fancy.